I can't stop shaking. I've run the entire gamut since I arrived at the bar. Everything but the kitchen sink. Deep breathing exercises. Couple shots of whiskey. A Xanax. Another shot. And still, there it is. My hands trembling like a Parkinson's patient. The metal rim of my watch drumming out a steady beat on the wooden table. I reach out with my other hand and grasp it by the wrist. I hold it, then release it. Back it goes. Like the dripping of a leaky faucet. Like the dregs of my sanity. Drip, drip, dripping away into the sink. I hadn't slept in days. Hadn't left the house. My room was a mess. I am a mess. Everywhere I look, the cruel looking horns, the ragged, impossibly human looking form, the eyes, the damn eyes. Why did I ever agree to do this? I was safe in the light. Whenever the first hint of nightfall came, I shut the windows, drew the curtains, and turned on every fucking light in the house. I blared the same playlist over and over again on my laptop, keeping myself awake. I turn to my left and look out the grimy window of the bar. The last rays of the sun are flickering over a crimson sky. 7:58 p.m. Darkness is coming. Night. Fuck. Why did I ever agree to do this? Hydroxide, I presume. A voice lilts just to my right. Hope I haven't caught you at a bad time. I snap my head back hard enough to sprain my neck muscles. Yeah, that's me. I struggle to fight off the fresh wave of shivering coming over me. Stop shaking. Stop fucking shaking. You took your damn time. He sits down opposite of me, slowly and deliberately. Apologies. Still, our appointment was for 8. I say we're right on track. He's dressed in a dark hoodie, hood pulled back, zipped all the way up, clean shaven, and pale. I'm talking like cadaver pale, black hair, short cropped, and sunglasses indoors at night. What's bugging me is his age, or rather, me being unable to tell his age. He doesn't look young, and yet I can't pick out any wrinkles or laugh lines to work out exactly how old he is. It fucks me up. Like a wax figure. Like a ventriloquist dummy. So, he begins, placing his hands on the table. I read your post about what happened a week ago. So, let's start from the beginning. I nod. The shot glass was back in my hand. I swill the ring of residual whiskey around. The bar lights are dim. Our table is one of the few still illuminated by the fading sunlight outside. There are maybe 5 or 6 patrons around, sipping drinks lazily, talking about work, or the weather, or some shit. It's true. All of it. I gulp down what's left of the liquor. It might as well have been water. The shaking doesn't stop. If anything, it gets worse. I saw it, man. I slammed the glass down on the table. It looked at me through the window of my uncle's cabin, like this close, like you and me right now. I gesture to the space between us. The pale man nods coolly, like one of those Japanese robots. The neck moves, but nothing else. His face is still as stiff as wax. Konnichiwa. Go on. You mentioned in your post that it started following you when you were out hiking. I put a palm on my head. Sweat is gathering under my hair. It's starting to get hot. I didn't want to believe it at first. Tried to deny that I ever saw it. But it was there, staring at me, like 30 feet away in the bushes, not even moving. Like, you know, one of those pagan ritual statue things. Just there, but made of real flesh, not stone or wood. I wipe my brow with a damp sleeve, half soaked in spilled whiskey. I looked away as if pretending I never saw it, but fuck, did I book it out of there, running all the way, and when I turned around, it hadn't moved. The stranger leans forward, but it was now closer. I swear, it's like the damn thing teleported or something. It was still in the same position, still standing stock, still, but now, it was right behind me. I couldn't have turned my back for more than 3 seconds, and it moved, just like that, behind me. I can't stop talking now. If I do, I'm going to die. I know it. My mouth breaks like a floodgate. The words tumble out one after the other, like third-degree burn victims scrabbling out of a flaming building. I don't know how I managed to get back to the cabin. I must have broken, like, 5 Olympic records sprinting back. I sprained my ankle, and at the door, I look back again, and it's gone. And it came back the same night, the man says. He sounds just like a psychiatrist. Shit, maybe he is. Maybe this is some psychology student taking me along for a ride so he could finish up his college essay on the mentally deranged. I don't care if you think I'm crazy, man. I glare at him, trying to peer out whatever beady little eyes were hiding behind those dark shades. I know it. It was fucking there. I knock the shot glass over angrily with a sweep of my hand. It rolls along the table a bit, coming to rest next to the salt shaker. The goat man. I spit out every syllable like a curse. There. You have your piece now. Go home and start writing your Pulitzer-winning piece on this trembling wreck in front of you. But he looks just straight ahead, as if studying me, assessing me. And then, I believe you. I blink. Like hell you do. Your story is not unique. Disturbing, yes, definitely. But one of many similar ones with very predictable patterns. He adjusts his sleeve, revealing a plain watch with a leather strap. My heat was rising. So I'm full of shit, right? Must have just ripped stuff off of some creepypasta site? Pulled off of No Sleep or something. I hit the table. Fuck you. I instantly regret it. Couple of customers are turning around to look at us. No, I'm saying you're lucky to have escaped with your life. As he pulls the sleeve back down, I catch sight of a ring. 11 fatalities this year. 6 of them in the last month. It's a nice ring. No nonsense. A plain gray disc on a dull metal band. I need another drink. Now, the last silver of sunlight is dancing at the edges of our table, like a pizza wedge of light. So what are you saying? Like, this is a serial killer or something? I squint at him through the gathering alcohol-induced haze. He doesn't say anything. A few moments later, He takes out a handkerchief and wipes his hands. The fabric sweeps masterfully over his long, spindly fingers. Methodical. Tell me, have you heard of the black-eyed children? He catches me by surprise. What? The man pockets his handkerchief. Black-eyed children. It's a popular urban legend. Children with empty, dark eyes appearing at your doorstep or street corners at odd hours in the night, staring at you. Always in pairs. One boy, one girl. I'm scanning over every inch of his face now, trying to figure out what kind of bullshit he's trying to feed me now. There have been stories for years. Sightings. He's serious. Fuck. Maybe I'm not the crazy one here. But how could he know? I keep staring at his sunglasses. Dark and impenetrable, like shields. Thicker than tinted car windows. Trying to spot that hint of mirth that means I've been taken for a fucking ride. Then, I sigh. Fuck it. I've never told anyone this. I clench both fists, and then the story comes out, for the first time in 10 years. I used to live with my grandpa up north. I was 10. It happened one night sometime in the fall. I was downstairs doing my homework. Grandpa was asleep in front of a cricket game that had been running for the past 45 minutes. The house was silent. We were in a quiet neighborhood, and then someone knocked on the door. I wipe my hands down on the pair of jeans I've worn for the past 3 months straight. And I open the door, and the fear comes back. Visceral, unstoppable, raw. 2 of them, one boy, one girl, dressed like the kids at a wedding, like formal and all, and their eyes. Fuck. I pinch the bridge of my nose. I can't stop the tears from coming. Their eyes were black, like it wasn't even a color, just empty. And they looked at me, and I froze. And I'm damn sure I wet my pants right then and there. It went on for like half a minute. Those 2 standing there, not moving, not saying anything, and me with warm pajama pants and a pool of piss under me. It all comes back in full technicolor. The human brain is a fucking amazing thing. Your good memories fade away and blur away with time into a jumble of happy thoughts. But the things that really fuck you up, they stay as vivid as when you first lived them. And then, they just left, walked away. I slammed the door hard enough to wake up my grandpa. He didn't believe me, said it was a bad dream. I told my parents. Same result. And then I never talked about it again. Their eyes were black, the man repeats. Black, like night in eye sockets. Like this? He removes his sunglasses, and instantly, I'm on the floor. The chair knocked over, crashing down on me like a brick wall. My mind a blur, my heart pounding like a drummer on cocaine. I'm scrabbling to get away, on hands and knees. Fingers scraping against filthy floorboards that hadn't been cleaned for years. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Friend here's had 1 drink too many. Here, let me get that. I hear the chair being put back right away. Time to take you home. Really sorry, ladies and gents. You all have yourselves a nice evening. And then he grabs my arm and hauls me up. It feels like an iron claw. I can barely keep my balance. He turns to face me. It's the eyes. The same eyes that haunted my nightmares until I was old enough to self-medicate with a fuck ton of benzos. Dark. Empty. No pupils. No blood vessels. Nothing but shiny inky blackness. Let's take a walk, he commands, and I obey. We're at the park. It's dark. There are 2 street lamps nearby. One's working fine. One's flickering on and off. Nobody else is there. I can hear some insects, and the distant sound of cars passing by the highway. Every instinct screams at me to bolt. Instead, something compels me to stay rooted in the park bench, struggling to hold my urine. He's right next to me, on the other end of the bench, calm and relaxed. They start us young, always 2, 1 boy, 1 girl. Sends us to areas of high paranormal activity, plot the map out using some complex algorithm run off a Commodore 64, then pinpoint the high-yield spots. His glasses are off. He lights up a cigarette. Some entities are drawn to males, some to females, and almost all of them to children. We're the perfect bait. He takes a drag of the cig. The tip glows brightly like the ass of a firefly. The point is to lure out anything living in or around the house, or inside the people. Usually half a minute is enough to confirm the house is clean. Entities mostly reveal themselves in the first 10 seconds. Once we get a visual, or sound, or smell, heck, any identifying details, we get out of there and phone in the heavies. He exhales a stream of smoke. We seldom get followed. Entities in residential habitats are always territorial. Once you're off the front porch, you're usually safe. Unless the owner invites you in, that breaks the barrier. Thankfully, they never do. He taps against his eyebrow. Again, I can't look away. The blackness is there, under the lids. The eyes. Whatever they do to us when we're kids, it turns the eyes completely black. Twofold function. For one, our eyes pick up a whole variety of wavelengths invisible to the normal human eye. Gives us some sort of second sight. The Chinese used to call it yin-yang vision, but the second function is more important. Safety mechanism. He flicks ash off the tip of the cig. Showers of red spill onto the ground. You know they say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. It's not a cliche. The first thing entities notice, even before the increased heart rate, or the scent, or the body language, it's the eyes. The dilation of the pupils. Fear, arousal, joy, grief. It's all in the eyes. Once you make eye contact, you're fucked. Like a radar lock. Heat signature. He betrays the slightest hint of a smile. These eyes? They're stealth technology. Lock proof. Your mistake was making eye contact with the goat man. Now you both are bonded. I find my voice at last. What the fuck are you? He turns to me. I'm a black-eyed child. All grown up. He drops the cig and stamps on it. The urban legends get it wrong. We're not demons or aliens. We're human. Or, at least, we were. He cleans the tobacco bits from his nails. Black-eyed children are all orphans. Usually, sole survivors of some traumatic event involving the paranormal. It makes us more susceptible. More in tune with things normal people don't see. I can't remember how I was recruited. Not many memories of my time before the agency. He pauses, staring off into the distance. Probably better that way. He rolls up his sleeve, points to a dark spot in the curve of his elbow. They inject us with a compound, supposedly a 2,000-year-old formula with a few modern molecular adjustments. Hurts like hell, burns for days. Most of us go into a coma, some of us don't come out. But when we do, that's when the change starts. He spreads his fingers as if studying them. They're as pale as he is, nearly bloodless. Pallor and cold skin, faster reflexes, better stamina, heightened senses, accelerated healing, both physical and psychic. We can function with a fraction of the food, water, or sleep a normal human being needs. And, of course, he taps the side of his face. The eyes. Always the eyes. The first change that indicates the process is successful. He continues. We start off as spotters. 2-person teams. 1 boy, 1 girl, like I just said. We do recon on areas where repeated paranormal sightings have been reported over a 3-day period. Relatively low risk. Gives us a chance to learn the territory. Get our feet wet. I still remember my first house. As he pulls out another cigarette, for the first time, I see some emotion on his pale, mask-like face. He's smirking. Teke-teke infestation. In a house right next to the abandoned railway station. The fucking thing was peering out from between the legs of the owner when he answered the door. Damn near shit myself. I was 9 at the time. Said thank you and good night. Walked off the front steps, called in the heavies, and spent the night shivering in the main room under a good bright light. First time I'd been thankful for the black eyes. Those eyes blink. That sort of entity is attracted to fear. Had I been a normal kid with bright blue eyes, it'd have pounced on me like a fucking wolf. He brings the cigarette to his lips. A wind is picking up. He cups the light with his other hand. We get older. We graduate to cleanup crew. Once the big guys move into an area, it tends to shake loose a whole bunch of smaller entities. Like rats out of a burning building, we go in and mop them up. He pulls out another cigarette, lights it. We stick to the same partners, same boy and girl. Builds trust, cooperation. About 30% of recruits die during this stage. Die, if they're lucky. He puts the lit cig to his lips, inhales, then blows the smoke out. At adulthood, we move on to the heavy duty. We start taking on the big targets, usually hauntings, sometimes possessions, often in pairs, sometimes in groups. Believe it or not, it's more dangerous in a big group. Many times more psychic energy to feed off of. You're alone. You can usually mask your psychic signature in with the background noise, especially if it's in a high volume area like a cemetery or a hospital. In pairs, same partners we had as kids, we watch each other's backs, move as a unit. He holds the cigarette in a reverse palm grip. Quite unusual. The veterans get the really fucked up stuff. Town-wide infestations, compromised crypts, eldritch motherfuckers, high fatality rates. You said something about an agency? I stammer. Worldwide organization. We've got people in every government. Links to all major religious organizations. We operate just about everywhere. Minor regional differences in tactics and hardware, but at its core, every country has its corpse of black-eyed children. The man continues to smoke. We've been around for thousands of years. Have lots of names. The Slavs call us Vedmak. The Irish used to call us Nyamp Merb. Our origins are the same. Humans recruited from the most damaged of us, who drink of the Covenant, though now, it's through hypodermic injection. He barely looks at me. All through history, humanity has been surrounded by danger, visible and invisible. Things we can't see and understand even less. Madness creeps at the edge of the modern age. Logic and reason break down. Sanity itself falls apart. He straightens his jacket. The cigarette dangles at the edge of his lips, dripping embers. We are mankind's answer to the dark. In giving up our own humanity, we safeguard humanity itself. We burn away our own natural bodies to become living weapons against the night. He looks at me slowly, his words barely a whisper. We become what we fear. I finally speak. So, you're like Ghostbusters. I think he's rolling his eyes. I can't tell. They're all black. Huh. Smartass. I'm here to do a job, and you're my only witness. 11 victims. So far, you're the only one to see the goat man and still be alive. He drops the cig and stomps it into the dirt. I need details. I don't mean half-assed no-sleep posts. Give me height, weight, build, features, smell, sound, color. So I start talking. He starts writing in a notebook. He's very specific. He grills me with 1,000 questions on minute details. What kind of growl? What kind of frequency? Did it smell of feces or of dirt? Any mottling on its fur? What kind? What exact patterns? And so on. It takes more than an hour. Through that time, he never stops smoking. He finally closes his notebook. Alright, this one sounds like a juvenile. Forest subtype. Likely aggressive. Just cut its teeth and got a taste for human flesh, I reckon. Not much yet in the way of subtlety. That's good for us. Once they get older, they gain the ability to skinwalk. Is that bad? You know when a rabbit shits in your packet of chocolates and you can't tell the chocolates from the shit? That's what dealing with a skinwalker is like. He sucks down the latest cigarette. Here's the lowdown. It's never going to stop coming for you. You escaped it, and it doesn't like that. It'll keep coming for you, again and again. The first thing that'll start is the nightmares. They'll get more and more frequent. And then the psychotic bursts. Meanwhile, it gets closer and closer to the city. It's bonded with you, and it'll keep looking for you. I think I whimper at this point. Might even have started sobbing. Suck it up. You're a security risk as is. The closer it gets, the more people get put in danger as it expands its hunting territory, which gives us two choices. He looks at me with those pitch black eyes, and holds up 2 fingers. 1. He folds one down. You kill yourself. He doesn't wait for my answer. 2. We kill that son of a bitch. But how? I stammer. It's a fucking ghost, for fuck's sakes. I've been doing this shit for 19 years. So get your shit together. He takes another drag. We crash at a motel tonight. You get some sleep. Tomorrow, we head back up to my car. Agency delivered some gear for this purpose. You and I, we're going to track it down. What do you need me for? Bait. Hey guys, Ghost Reaps here. This is only part 1 of the story. I'll be posting part 2 out sometime this week. If you like the story, please hit that like button and subscribe. That would be pretty gosh darn awesome. Also, I do have a Snapchat, so if you decide to message me, 9 times out of 10 I'll message you back. That also includes my Instagram, my Twitter, and my YouTube page. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment below and discuss. I read all of my comments. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. Thank you guys for supporting me and watching the video. And as always, have a safe night.